So in today's video, I'm going to discuss a common water flow issue you might be having from your kitchen or bathroom sink. The water that's coming out of the spout and thus this piece, the aerator, is either weak or it doesn't come down straight. It comes down in awkward angles, or it's misty or spraying. I'm going to show you two things you can look into to solve those problems. So if everything checks out underneath the sink, we're going to come back to the top and either pull the drain stop up or use a catch basin, or better yet, just use a towel and place that in your sink so nothing can fall down the drain trap, because now you're going to focus on removing the aerator. If I can, I'm going to use my fingers to the left, will loosen it, and then I can remove it. But a lot of times it's really locked on there or wedged on there due to the mineral buildup from the water. You can try using distilled white vinegar or a combination of vinegar and baking soda. Put it in a little jar or cup, mix it around, and use a toothbrush to kind of get it around the threads and the edges as best you can. Maybe you put it on there for 5 minutes, scratch around, and then see if you can remove it with your fingers. If you can, great. If you can't, the problem with using pliers is that you're really going to scratch the surface or bend it and destroy it. Now, if you're looking to simply replace this by, let's say, buying a brand new one at your hardware store, okay, you just want to get it off and then put the new one in. However, if you're going to use the same aerator you have, you're going to think about how else can I remove it. If you're using some sort of lock vice grip or a pipe wrench, you might want to sit there and put athletic tape around both edges before you go to try to loosen it up. Personally, I have another device. It's from Craftsman. This is a rubber wrench, and then I'm going to put this rubber around here. It won't scratch anything. There we go. Yep. And so I can loosen this now. There's probably going to be a little bit of water in here that comes out. Yep. Okay, so now I have my aerator. And then when you get the new one, just fit it back in there, and chances are, after you finger tighten it, it'll work like a charm and you're good to go. However, you have another option. You can keep the aerator that you have. I'm going to take it apart and I'm going to show you how to clean it, because the city water will typically collect little rocks or pebbles, and when that gets in the filtering system or the plastic mechanism inside, that's what causes all of that distortion of flow or the misting or spraying. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is take apart the aerator. Once I take it apart, either I can use my cup in which I have white vinegar in and soak all the parts to get rid of some of that mineral deposition, but otherwise I'm going to take off the washer. Make sure you check and see whether it's universal. It doesn't matter whether it goes up or down or whether it does make a difference. Just pay attention to how the old one came out. I'm going to push through from the bottom, and I'm going to push through. That's going to release. Yeah, here are all the other pieces. Okay. So there's the outer aerator piece, the metal side of it, or brass. But The plastic piece comes undone. Within this plastic piece, looks like I've got 3 little screen meshes. There may be debris that gets in between all that. I'll soak that. And then I've got this plastic piece, which sometimes little debris gets caught in here. So I'm going to try to pop this loose to separate it. So on this other small little plastic piece, you can see there's a little hole there. I'm going to use my pick to get underneath that hole and lift that. There we go. And lift that little top plastic piece off, making sure I know how it goes back on. But this area here, this is where a lot of rock and debris and sediment gets into, and so you'll use a toothbrush to clean all that stuff out. Otherwise, for right now, while that other stuff is sitting there soaking in the vinegar, I'm going to clean through the faucet spout, and I'll use some of the vinegar to clean through that as well, so there's a nice clean connection. Okay, after everything is soaked in the vinegar and I've used the toothbrush to wipe everything off, and then I rinsed everything off with fresh water, now I need to put everything back together. So I'm going to grab the screens with this piece, and I'm going to put those screens in. I've got 2. They typically only have 1. I probably have another one from a previous aerator, but I'm going to put them both in here. Not a big deal. I'll set them in there till they kind of get wedged in there. And yeah, that looks really nice and clean. So then I'm going to take this piece. This is where all that debris really collects in the sediment and rocks. I'm going to put that little plastic piece that had the center hole on top. I'll snap that in place. And then I'll grab this little plastic ring and I'll put it in the center of that. It should snap in there. And then I'll take that piece and put it on top and clip that in. Okay? And from here, this will go into the housing of the aerator. So right, that looks really nice and clean now. It's all been cleaned out. My aerator looks really nice and clean. All the threads look great. No more mineral deposits. And then I'll grab the washer, put that in the top, press that down. It looks real uniform. And now I'm going to put this, screw it back under the spout of the faucet. Okay, so now I'm going to take that reassembled aerator and put that back under the spout of the faucet. And I'm just going to hand tighten that. Okay, and drum roll, let's see how the water comes out. There we go. Good steady stream, and it's coming straight down into the drain.